being back where we belong.
Welcome back to the Airborne Podcast. I'm your host, Ajit. This big boy Braz back at it. We got Thanos back on the podcast. We are officially back. The Raptors are officially back. Their first.
Oh, sorry. Correction. We back.
We back. You see it in the back right there.
We back.
It's the first regular season game for the Raptors back at the ScotiaBankArena in Toronto after 600 fucking days. That was a positive part. You saw the promo video, which hyped everyone up. You saw Cardinal Official come out and drop that mixtape. You've seen the Raptor announcer announce all the names. It was kind of weird without Kyle Lowry.
100%.
But Scotty Barnes was feeling himself. You got Delano Banton getting the Rex Steel shout out, and Gary Trent as well, who was kind of hyped as well. And it was kind of weird because, all of our players are basically gone. Only 4 guys from that championship roster are still here. And they're the only ones that actually had a home game in Toronto. Everyone else is kind of brand new, right?
Right.
So you can kind of see why the game didn't go in our favor. You could see the players themselves, the younger guys, they were kind of anxious. They were nervous, obviously. Even the core guys too. Some of them like Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby, they didn't have a great game. And, the outcome didn't come out in our favor. The Raptors lose the game to the Washington Wizards, 98-83. The biggest downfall or the biggest obvious, issue in this game was the offense, clearly. And so I wanted to get your input on what you guys saw and how horrible or how far you actually watched of the game before you turned it off.
Yo, let me start. Anuja, let me hop in. So, first off, like you said, it was hype. Like during the day, I was hyped. I was so like pumped. I saw hype videos all over Instagram on the Raptors, like that drone video of it flying through Bay Street all to Air Canada. Like that was hype. Like I was like into it, ready to go. And then the moment the game started, I was more into it, right? Like you said, the hype introduction. Cardinal Official, like it was wicked. And then when the game started, I started seeing the Maple Leafs where everyone's skating on the rink and like just going left and right. I don't know what happened to Anuj, he slid too, but
He'll be back.
There you go, he's back. But yeah, that being said, everyone's sliding on the court. There was so many turnovers. It was just horrendous. Like I remember one of the possessions, Kem Birch had the ball. Brings it up half court and boom, turnover. I think they snatched away. But yeah, honestly, it was good that we were able to see them again. It was hype. I'm excited. I'm excited that they're back. But we can't be winning games if A, our turnovers are heavy. B, if we're skating on the court like we're the Maple Leafs, and C, if we're just not confident, right? Like you don't see the same Freddie. I need Freddie to lead, right? Kyle Lowry, when he was there, he was leading these guys. But to me, I think Freddie's new to this role of being a leader, and he's still kind of anxious. But hopefully, he can get over it and start to lead us eventually.
I mean, Freddie's kind of been a leader for this team since the second year when he actually got real minutes. But this is a new role for him because he's kind of one of the actual only veterans on this team still.
Sure.
Whenever he was having a bad game, he can always lean on Kyle Lowry and vice versa.
Sure.
And obviously Pascal wasn't there because of his shoulder.
Oh yeah, I'll cut you off.
Yeah.
One thing we missed yesterday was Pascal. We missed him yesterday. I know me being a Pascal hater sometimes, we missed him. We needed him yesterday, and it was evident.
It was, because of the fact that Kuzma was the other guy on the other side, and you know what he does to Kuzma every time he sees him, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, Anujan, I want to get your first take on whatever happened yesterday.
This guy went to Washington and came back.
Yeah.
Yo, you're muted.
Oh, wait, you're muted, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah. What I was saying was I agree with what both you guys said. I feel like nerves just set in for the Raptors. I feel like Freddie was still trying to adapt with the whole leadership role,
Yeah.
and I feel like OG. I don't know. I think he had a bad night, and I mean all of them did. The only guy I could see who really was flourishing throughout that game was Scotty Barnes because
Yeah.
he had the most points in the game, right? Um, but yeah, like the bench needs to kind of step up a little bit. I mean, they scored a lot, but it wasn't that much. Turnovers was an issue. Just weren't making enough threes. Field goals, field goal percentage was awful. But
Yeah.
Washington was doing awful too. Yeah, like
Yo,
just
it was
nerves.
a battle.
I'm not. Sorry.
No, I was thinking it was a battle of the worst teams,
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I was just saying how like I'm not really taking that much out of this game. I
Yeah,
feel like it's just nerves. I feel like they'll come back next game.
100%.
well, the thing with these, like we got to give them a break. I mean, it's the first game of 82.
Sure.
The road to 81-1 is still a possibility.
Yeah.
But both teams came up with new faces and new places, right? So you still need some time to acclimate everybody into the rotation, find the right lineups that work together. And one of the star keys, I mean, one of the bright spots to tonight's game was Delano Banton.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could see him in the fourth quarter or at the end of the third quarter. This man can't make a three from the 3-point line, but he makes these Steph Curry like threes, half court
Yeah,
buzzer beaters.
Oh,
He
yeah.
had one in the preseason. He had one last night, and he was a really that spark that we needed. It kind of came a little late because Nick Nurse went towards him when he felt like nothing was going on with the other guys.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, what did you guys think about his performance? Rex Steele's finest coming in his debut and showing off a little bit.
Yo, I think he was hyped, yo. I think he was hyped. I think um we need to give him more minutes. A lot of my friends were saying, we should start him. I don't think we should start him, but I think we should give him a little more minutes. Um he makes a difference, right? He makes a difference. Again, I'm biased because I want to show love to homegrown talent,
Mhm.
but last night he looked like he was a better player, right?
Yeah,
Made those shots, but yeah, he missed a little three. But I don't know. Let's see. I think his progression will be great.
yeah. And another thing I think for Nick Nurse, what he's learning is he might have to go a little deeper into on nights like this,
Yeah,
because we don't have the most shooting, and he's one of those rare guys, those rare breeds that are 6'7" to 6'9" that literally always push the ball down the floor.
yeah,
Always speeds it up, doesn't
yeah,
slow down, and him and Scotty Barnes together was a good combo in that little spark that they had in the fourth quarter. Um, they had a couple of nice dimes actually to Chris Boucher when he made a cut to the rim, and yeah, I mean that was pretty evident in this game, but I'm pretty sure you guys saw it as well, right?
yeah.
And although the Raptors were awful from the offensive standpoint, I mean they basically shot 29% from the first quarter down to the third, and they ended up with just shooting 31% for the whole game. From the first for the first half, they basically couldn't crack a 20-point quarter. They had 37 points at the half. They allowed Washington to score 57, and their defense wasn't there. Their calling card is obviously going to be the defense this season. And with these guys, like the way they were letting these guys, the Washington Wizards players, cut in and score easy baskets and open threes and stuff like that, they have to figure that out. And yeah, I mean it was pretty evident on what their strong points were. When they let the offense dictate their defense, you could see they didn't really have an identity. But
Yeah.
when they let their defense in the fourth quarter dictate their offense, that's when you knew they looked like the actual Raptors we thought that they were in the preseason when they went 3-2.
I'm telling you, it's just nerves, man. I think we'll be back. I
Yeah.
don't think we should be panicking just yet.
Mhm.
Um, like what we've been saying, the common theme is just nerves. We should be good.
Yeah, I
And,
mean,
and
yeah.
sorry,
Oh,
Nurse is also he's still figuring out his whole rotation, right? Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
said, Banton did well last game, the last game. So like, I mean, who knows? He's gonna be put in the rotation more, right?
mhm.
Same one. I haven't really seen Svi Mihailuk a lot. Like, I feel like they need to implement him more. I know it's just one game, but I'm just saying, like, like those, like how JJ Redick gets played on the Sixers and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, they should start running plays from like that. Get
Like
him
how they
get
did
him
in
some
Lost
open
City,
threes and
right?
stuff.
Sorry.
Huh?
How they did in Los Angeles, where they did the pick and roll, right, with JJ
Yeah,
Redick.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Even in Philly too, he had some good stints there with
Yeah.
shooting. But
Sure.
we had a lot of offensive rebounds, and rebounding was a horrible point for us last season. It was one of our flaws, and
Yeah.
we had a lot of offensive rebounds, but we couldn't convert it into fast break points, and that's one of the issues we had this game. And
Yo, we had, sorry, I cut you off, but we had Monte Harold, like in the first 2 quarters. This guy was like just getting rebounds and just like dunking. Like he had one point where it was like 6 points in a row or 8 points in a row. And I'm like, yo, this is terrible. We can't be winning games if we're letting this clown. Even though I have in my fantasy, we have this clown making buckets and stuff like that.
no, but he was a reigning sixth man of the year. I mean,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
a couple years ago, he has that kind of potential. He just fell off because the Lakers didn't give him any minutes, really, right?
For sure.
Took him out of the rotation, but for the most part, he actually did. I mean, if we let guys like that are the same size as our forwards mark us on the offensive end like that,
Yeah.
getting offensive rebounds time and time again, then what are we gonna do when the actual big men come in like Jokic and Embiid and Vucevic and stuff, like guys like
Yeah,
that?
they'll destroy us.
Yeah, and Precious Achua, he had a lot of easy bunnies he missed. I mean, there were so many. Precious had some, Scotty had some, Svi Mihailuk, and these guys, they all like. I think Daniel Gafford really showed a lot of presence in the paint.
Yeah,
And
he did. He did.
But aside from the few blocks he had, I mean, they did miss some easy bunnies. Like there's a couple alley oops and open buckets that Precious Achua missed. And these guys only made 7 threes for the game. That's horrible. I think that's probably like the 9th worst shooting percentage, I think, in like Raptors history or something like that, I believe.
It was disgusting, man. Like I was every three I went up was a miss, or brick or something.
Yeah.
But to be honest, Kuzma had some terrible air balls too. So I was like, all right, cool.
But he was killing us in the beginning, though. Van Vliet only had 12 points for the game, but I think he had all 12 points in the first half and didn't score after that. And to have 12 points or 20 shots is obviously not the ideal thing to have. You're not going to win most games like that, especially if he's one of our leading scorers. But the positive thing is we know OG and Van Vliet are not going to shoot like that on a regular basis.
Sure. Yeah.
And based off how OG played in the preseason, there's a lot of promise there, along with Fred Van Vliet as well. The only problem is our schedule coming up is a little rough. We got Boston on Friday, then we got a back-to-back with Dallas, and then Monday we have Chicago. So DeRozan's coming in early. We got one of the MVP candidates, one of the top players in the league, in Luka, and then you got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown's coming off a career high of 46 points, even though they lost to the Knicks, but still. But yeah, I can't really think of anyone that really did well. I mean, Scotty Barnes, I think for the most part of the game, he was shooting 50%. I think he was 4 of 8 at one point in the game, but then he ended up being 5 of 13. He had 12 points, 9 rebounds, a pretty decent debut for the most part. He obviously was one of the leading scorers along with Fred VanVleet for the game. And when your 2 leading scorers only score 12 points, if that's your highest score, then it's a wrap.
You're not winning most games. Yeah,
especially when Bradley Beal had 23 points on the other side.
100%.
Yeah. And you also have 22 points and 9 rebounds from Montrezl Harrell.
But you know what? It was a good debut for Scotty Barnes. Like people can talk shit all they want. I think it was a good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
He did not have a welcome to NBA moment just yet. I think he did well yesterday. But let's see. We're playing Boston next, so let's see if we continue the momentum, and then hopefully everyone else around him can step up.
And one more thing, points in the paint. I know you said something about Montrezl Harrell a little while ago about him bullying us the whole night, but they were in the first half. I think it was the first half, 38-20, and then they ended off, I think 56-40, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 56-40. And turnover battle, we won. We had 19 to their 21. It was just the offensive rebounds. We out-rebounded them on the offensive end, 19-7. We just couldn't convert the fast break points. We only had 18 for the night on 19 offensive rebounds, and then we held them to 8 fast break points. But it was just the ill-advised turnovers in the crucial moments when we could have went on a big run, and it's kind of took away from our momentum, right?
Yo, there was a turnover, I think in the second quarter, or third. Neto stole the ball like so easily. I don't know who it was.
Of Kim Birch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kemba,
he just
yeah.
stole it off, bro. That was just so
I don't know why
dumb.
Fred VanVleet let him dribble the ball up to the
Yeah,
paint. And then also Chris Boucher had some dumbass passes and some rushed moves without moving the ball. Obviously, Washington Wizards ball movement is the reason why they were able to really screw us over on the defensive end. You can see it; it was pretty evident. They didn't obviously they didn't shoot that well either from the field, but they shot 44%, 36 of 81 from the field. And we ended up making more threes than them at the end, but we could barely buy a three-pointer throughout most of the game. They were 5 of 27 from beyond the arc for 18%, so they weren't that much better. Rebounding, one key is though, as much as we talk shit about everything that happened on the offensive end, the rebounding obviously was a big issue, like I mentioned earlier. So seeing them win the rebounding category against these guys, 54-51 was a good sign.
for sure.
We probably should have had a lot more assists aside from 14, but we just couldn't buy a bucket. And yeah, OG, I really got hyped up in that fourth quarter when Delano Banton went behind the back on Beal and then went in for the drive and bodied Montrezl Harrell for a tough layup. And then he had a nice dish to Chris Boucher, and then he had we can't forget about the half-court shot.
Yeah.
And OG also with the back-to-back threes. I think they cut the lead to 93-83, and then that's all she wrote. That was the closest they got. I don't know, bro.
Put him in.
I think they are going to, because you saw the difference with him and Scotty. Like I said, they were like, you saw it, like how good they were facilitating the ball, and they both like to push the ball. So
yeah. And it fits our our motto. You know what I mean? Like it fits who we are.
If you can put two shooters with those guys and a center, like a mobile center, like put Delano, Svi, Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes.
Hold up. Before you go, I said before you continue, Gabe Trent, we forgot to talk about this guy yesterday. This guy was terrible yesterday. This guy, we paid him this summer, and this guy, sorry, I know you were talking about your potential lineup, but I didn't want to forget this. Didn't want to forget this, but Gary Trent Jr. last night was terrible. Like he wasn't the guy I saw in the bubble, right? Like, or wherever I saw him. Like this guy was horrendous, and we need him to step up because he has potential, and like I feel like he's just on cruise mode right now. But no, we need him to step the fuck up.
I think what we need to do in the lineup change is we need to put Goran Dragic off the bench.
Yeah.
Put Gary Trent back in the starting lineup.
I think he plays better on the starting lineup.
He's averaging like 5 points or something coming off the bench. I mean, we knew this last year when we were in Tampa. Like the games he started, he was killing it. The games he wasn't starting, he shit the bed.
100%.
And like you said, in Portland in the bubble, he was killing it when CJ McCollum was out. Like he was shooting the lights out.
Yeah.
That's kind of where he got his name.
But yeah, I wanted to say that before you continue because I don't want us to forget about Gary Trent. But yeah, sorry, what were your potential lineup you were saying?
No, I was just saying, like, if we go with the Delano Banton, Scotty Barnes lineup, they can't shoot the ball, but they can facilitate at a high rate, right? So you put two shooters beside him and Gary Trent and Svi Mihailu. Yeah. And then we got a rebounding big like Precious or Kem Birch, a mobile big that can run the floor as well,
Yeah.
Or if Pascal comes back, you put Pascal at the 5. Or when he does.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
It's interesting, man.
It's gonna be a lot better.
A lot of potential. So let's see, like I'm not giving up on these guys. I know this is game 1. A lot of people shouldn't, but a lot of bandwagons are probably thinking, why did I pay $100 for these tickets? But you know what?
I mean, everyone, no matter how bad or well this game went, everyone it was a fresh breath there seeing the Raptors come back and play in Toronto again after 2 years. 600 days, almost 19 to 20 months. And I don't know how this next few games is going to go. We might start 0-4 like we did in Tampa, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah. But we just got to kind of live with the highs and the lows. And because we have so many young guys on our team, we're going to have to live with their mistakes. And hopefully they grow from it and maybe they show out. That's what they want to do with Delano Banton, Scotty Barnes. They want to let them have these growing pains so that down the road they know what's good,
Sure.
100%.
And yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, there isn't really much to talk about. People's stats, individual stats are horrible.
Yeah.
But I think OG had a double-double, 11 and 10, if I'm not mistaken. I had him in my fantasy along with Fred VanVleet. They both shit the bed, but
I think the key takeaway for today's game, is number 1, we're back home. The fans are hyped, full capacity. That's the first takeaway. Second is, we got to see Scotty Barnes. We got to see the rookies, Banton. The third rookie that we drafted, I didn't even know. I don't know his name. Haven't seen him.
David
But
Johnson.
what's his name?
David Johnson.
Yeah, David Johnson. I haven't seen him, so I hope he does well. But it was good exposure for the rookies and the newcomers, right?
Him and Champagne are two-way contract players, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
on the two-way deal.
And I think the last takeaway is just, we get to see Gary Trent on home court. We get to see like these guys come through. I want to see more Sam Decker. I know he's a good I think he's a shooter, right? So hopefully we can like get more minutes out of him. Overall, man, like yeah, we took the L, but it was a good learning curve for everyone, but also the team can see why Toronto is so hyped, why Toronto is so loud, and why it's a good place to play because of our fans, right? So
the team finally got to get a feeling for how the Toronto. I mean, some of them have come in and experienced it from on the road, but for the most part, they got to experience it from the home side, all of them.
Yeah.
And during the preseason, they didn't have a full capacity, and they were able to have that yesterday.
No.
So,
Yeah.
right. So that was a good sign. But yeah, I mean, Scotty Barnes leading scorer, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. OG Anunoby, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and a block. And Fred VanVleet, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. All had Scotty Barnes played 32 minutes, OG played 33, and VanVleet played 34. And then you had Bradley Beal, 34 minutes, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, down 7 and 19 from the field.
No, he's good though, man, Bradley Beal.
Yeah, Bradley Beal's good. And then you had Montrezl Harrell, who's really the X factor for this game. 25 minutes, 22 points, 9 rebounds, an assist, and a block. 9 of 11 from the field. So they were really efficient for the most part. Or at least Montrezl Harrell was, Bradley Beal was, whatever.
Kuzma did pretty decent this game too.
Kuzma scored 11 points, grabbed 15 rebounds in 34 minutes, but he's 4 of 13 from the field, and he had 5
That's
turnovers.
the only downside. Yeah.
He had 5 turnovers, yeah. But VanVleet, like I said, 12 points, 20 shots to get those 12 points. I mean, he basically had 5 points in the first couple of minutes, right?
He had the first 3 in the game, right?
Yeah, the first 3, and then he went 1 for 1, and then he went 0 of 8 for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
that's the only 3 he made.
Yeah,
that's the only 3 he made.
Yeah, I know.
All
right, huh?
I was hyped when you made those. Then I'm like,
yeah.
It was fitting for him to, for Kyle Lowry to pass him over the torch and him to hit that first 3 coming back to Toronto,
Yeah.
And I mean, one last thing I want to talk about. Do you guys? I mean, we're throwing everyone under the bus. Or are we giving Scotty Barnes a pass? Like, what are we doing? Who are we giving the start player?
Well, I think the game one we didn't do the bus. I think it's a learning curve for everyone. So I think we're all just chilling. But next game we're gonna start tossing people on the bus, just because like I feel like it's a learning curve, right? I don't think it's fair for us to like dump on the bus.
There's not.
I'm good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. I'm just saying I agree with Browse, but I'm gonna take Scotty Barnes and put him on the star player list just because he did show potential in this game.
Yeah.
Give him the crown, Give him the crown of the week.
Yeah.
Crown of the day.
And everyone else is under the bus in everyone's eyes, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I was gonna say there's no Aaron Baines, Rodney Hood, Freddie Gillespie this year to throw under the bus. So
I kind of miss Aaron Baines, man.
Nah, I miss Gillespie, man, but he fucked up though, man. He should came out with fire, man, but he came out too comfortable.
That's the thing. I mean, with Gillespie, like he was part of our roster last year, but he didn't get to experience the Toronto vibe fully, right? Before he got cut. Yeah. And shout out to Ishmael Wainwright too, bro. All those guys that got cut. Shout out to those guys for definitely putting in that work, but unfortunately not making the final cut.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any final words? Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, I'm good.
If y'all are excited for the Raptors season, make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't liked the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to it, make sure you click that bell notification because we are officially back. We back. And the next game is Friday night in Boston. Hopefully we do a lot better. We got 2 wings that can guard their 2 best scoring forwards. So that's going to be definitely a good matchup. We're both 0-1 to start the 2021-2022 season. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, till then, stay blessed, stay woke, and please stay safe. Peace. You have anything last to say before? I feel like I cut you off. Did you have something to say?
No, I was gonna say, you forgot the closing lines. That's all. I was like laughing.
Oh no, I didn't forget it. No, I was just waiting because I wanted to see if you guys had anything left to say.
Now we're good, yo. Let's wrap it up. Let's go Raptors.
All right. See you Friday. Peace.
Yeah. The price I want for sure you gon' need.